everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I actually wanted to talk about some new information that we got. The cast actually teased a lot of the Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 2 and what to expect, and there's some interesting details here that I want to focus on. Gimple teased a lot of stuff about the new villains, and Melissa McBride actually talked about the Walkie-talkie storyline, which I found very, very interesting. So before we go any further, obviously make sure to be a subscriber if you want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. I just posted my review for House of the Dragon Season 2 Episode 1. For those wondering, I will actually be posting House of the Dragon reviews for every single episode. Really a lot of videos on House of the Dragon, just kind of in general. My plan is to get a video out every single day. Thursday and Friday might be a little different, just because of the boys, so obviously I do want to focus on that. In terms of Walking Dead content, I will be doing videos every single day. I know I haven't been doing that a lot, and I've recently actually just come out with a plan to actually, have content come out every single day, because the issue is I don't have a lot of free time, and honestly that's the hardest part, and I do have to prioritize this a lot. So it is the summer months now. We're about a month away, like literally only a month away until Comic-Con, so it's gonna get really crazy over the next couple of weeks here. Like, I know Daryl Dixon might seem a little quiet right now. In a month from now, it's gonna get crazy at Comic-Con, because there's the trailer and there's the other spinoffs as well. There might be other spinoff news and stuff like that. There's gonna be a lot of details that we're gonna learn just about the Walking Dead franchise in general, so I'm very excited for Comic-Con. I will also be doing my Q&A video tomorrow, so first of all, thank you guys for posting all your questions. If you do want to ask me any questions regarding The Walking Dead, just let me know on Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, the server name is Appetite for the Dead. There's a Q&A section there. I always ask for questions there every single week, and yeah, I'll post that Q&A tomorrow, and then I'll probably do another Q&A at some point this week as well, because I missed last week. But yeah, so this was actually just posted today, I believe, and this is from NYWIFT. The article was actually written here by Tammy Reese, so I'll leave a link down below if you do want to go and check it out. There's actually a lot of really cool clips there from the panel. I'm only focusing on two parts here, and that's a part with Melissa McBride, I think that she mentioned, as well as Scott Gimple, but there's a lot more there. There's a lot more that they talk about. I didn't even get to the thing with Norman Reedus or anything, so definitely go and check out the article. Again, I'll leave a link in the description of this video. But what I found really interesting, just to focus on Scott Gimple for a second, what I found really interesting, and I'll focus more on what Scott Gimple had to say here, is that he's teasing that the villains will actually be upping the ante, as he says, that there's going to be, I guess they'll be more threatening, basically. Like, you thought that they were, I guess threatening or whatever in season 1 or scary or whatever. Well, just wait until season 2. And I know that, just based off of some stuff that I've seen anyways, that I believe the new variant walkers in season 2 are going to be improved on. And I imagine what it's going to be is that they won't kill each other, and there's going to be a lot more. Like, instead of the 1 or 2 that we saw, I think there's only 1 or 2. No, there was 2 of them in that scene, right? There may have been a third one, but I'm pretty sure there was 2 of them, because I know 2 of them fought each other. Maybe I was thinking of Quinn, because Quinn was actually in the scene with Daryl. But anyways, I imagine that in season 2, there's going to be a lot more where you can get like 10 to 15 or 20 of them together, and you just have all of those variant walkers, running after Daryl and Carol and this and that. And I don't think it's going to be in the same setting as well, which is exciting. Like, there's no way they're going to do the same exact thing where you have Daryl or Carol or another character trapped in a location and then they just sort of unleash these variant walkers. There's going to be something where there's a plan of, we know Daryl and Carol are here, and so we're going to unleash these walkers basically here, and it's just going to be absolutely insane, because it's probably going to be variant walkers attacking, like maybe they attack the nest or something like that. Or that's the thing, like that's probably going to be an endgame thing, like, or not endgame, but like for the finale. But beforehand, they will encounter them, right? So there's going to be something that builds up to that moment. And besides the fact that, the new variant walkers won't kill each other, I wonder if there's going to be other surprises with that, right? Like, if the variant walkers will be able to do different things, if they're just going to look different, because they always do improve, especially just visually, the look of just everything, as they go from season to season. And it's just because obviously you have a new look, a new perspective going to the next season. You're like, well, how can I make this better? So you'll make things better, right? You work on this and that. So I think the variant walkers this season are going to be way more terrifying. There's going to be some, like, that's the one thing that I've seen, is that there's going to be some crazy reveals or something in this season. And I don't know what that necessarily means. Like, I don't think it's going to be anything like Rick Grimes related, though it does seem like there's going to be a Rick Grimes reveal in this season. We'll talk about that in a second, but I think the reveal they're talking about has to do more with like variant walkers or just plans that they have, or maybe other villains. Like, there's going to be a setup for season 3 as well, so there's going to be a bigger story going on here, and I'm excited to see what type of, you know, reveals they have here, because I've seen that a lot just from a lot of the promotion and stuff in general, is that, you know, they kind of hype up this season, you know, you're going to find this and that, there's a lot of crazy moments, and again, Norman Reedus mentioned at one point that, you know, the finale of season 2 is like the best 1 hour of Walking Dead anything ever, or whatever he said, right? So that's gonna hype up all of this stuff a lot. And again, variant walkers will do that. Like, you have a bunch of them just like everywhere, Daryl and Carol running away from them. Like, that one scene with Daryl and the variant walker on that ship was just, that was exciting, and it was a very short scene, right? It was all building up that one moment. And so I think that, you know, especially because the showrunner of season 1 is the showrunner of season 2 as well. You have the same writers as well for season 1. Like, maybe there's a writer or two that's changed, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty much the same exact writers. So I can just see season 2 being a much better season, and they're just going to look at season 1 and what worked, and they're going to do the same thing, but just like increase it and make it better, right? Melissa McBride was actually asked about, you know, whether or not the walkie-talkie storyline, you know, who came back. Because if you remember in the scene, Carol was saying to Daryl, someone came back. We didn't get to hear who she said came back, and we actually have confirmation that that storyline will be revealed in this season here. And at this point here, I mean, we're all assuming that it's Rick Grimes, right? Like, it makes sense that that's probably going to be who she's mentioning. Like, yeah, Rick came back, or Rick and Michonne came back. And yeah, that's not going to be that surprising, but there's this part of me that's just like, well, what if they change it, right? Like, I could honestly see them just doing something differently there, which I honestly wouldn't mind. Like, Carol not knowing that Rick and Michonne came back is also really exciting, because you just have that you're saving that reveal. There's something to look forward to there, right? There's also, like, if she does tell Daryl that Rick came back, there's also that part to it too, where you're like, well, now Daryl gets to know, and we're going to get a lot of scenes there that's going to be a lot of fun, right? Like, it's basically just, what do you kind of prefer? I still think it's going to be Rick. Like, she's just going to be like, yeah, Rick and Michelle made it back, right? Like, she's going to tell Daryl that. Daryl's going to be, you know, obviously really happy to hear that. It makes sense that that is probably going to be what Carol says. I just, you know, if she did say somebody else, like Morgan or Dwight, I feel like that would be exciting, because that would be confirmation that maybe one of those two characters could be on Daryl Dixon. And again, I'm not saying that you know, that's a possibility. I mean, I guess it technically is a possibility. I'm just more thinking, like, we all think it's going to be Rick, right, and Michonne, but then she's just going to be like, oh no, actually Morgan came back, right? I wonder if they're just like, well, maybe we'll just like change it here a little bit. But I don't know, just based off of that reveal right there, and a lot of that, I feel like, you know, that could have been set up for the fact that Rick and Michonne did make it back, and it was just more of a exciting thing going on in the universe, right? So I don't know, I think that probably, like, I think that makes a lot of sense personally. But if they wanted to have Dwight or Morgan or any other character, you know, appear, I guess, in the Walking Dead universe, like, Morgan makes a lot of sense personally, but like, if you were to have Morgan want to make a return, then yeah, I could see that also being something, because Carol saying Morgan came back, that also makes a lot of sense, right? So we'll have to wait and see, I guess, where this goes. But the confirmation that we are getting this is awesome. Like, it's awesome that we do have that confirmation that we're getting this storyline here, so it's another thing to look forward to this season. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. Definitely post your thoughts down below on who you think Carol mentioned. Like, it makes sense that it's gonna be Rick, but do you think there's a chance at all that maybe they'll switch it, you know, at the last second kind of thing, or like, maybe this was always the intention? Because I just feel like we're all expecting one thing, and it's not gonna be that. Like, I don't know, maybe not, like, maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's just a feeling I have right now. But yeah, so I'm gonna be getting to work on a lot of different like topic videos and a lot of different like theories and ideas and all that, because I do have a lot of stuff just with The Walking Dead in general that I do want to talk about. I want to talk about other characters and whatnot, and having other storylines that we could be getting. So I do want to talk about like Andrew Lincoln, you know, returning and whatnot, and just some of the more new information that we have there. Just other storylines that would be kind of cool. Also, just do some what if videos in general as well. I think that'd be a lot of fun as we await Comic-Con, right? Because Comic-Con is in a month from now, so we have about 4 weeks here where, I mean, that's the thing, they usually do release stuff before Comic-Con. It's usually like the week or two beforehand, so in the next like 2 weeks, I'll be doing a lot of videos like that, breaking down older episodes and whatnot. And then, yeah, that last week or two before Comic-Con, it'll get really exciting because we're going to get the official trailer and a lot of other news just in general with The Walking Dead. I don't really know what to expect at Comic-Con this year. Like, there's going to be a trailer for Daryl Dixon. There's going to be a teaser and all of that for Dead City, obviously, season 2. And I imagine The Ones Who Live and a lot of talk about that. There's going to be some talk on that. Like, Scott Gimple, I'm sure, is like so aware that people are going to be asking, like, you know, are Rick and Michonne coming back anytime soon? Because they all left the door open. They're all like, yeah, you know, this and that. And so that's going to be asked. Like, people are going to ask that. And I want to know what they're going to say and if there is actually an update there. Because the one thing that I pointed out before that I found very interesting is that Andrew Lincoln and Scott Gimple have both been saying recently that they want to take, Rick Grimes into a more, I guess, Andrew Lincoln said simplistic survival horror. Scott Gimple said more like classic Walking Dead stories. They all want to go back to the Walking Dead's roots, basically, and tell more like very simple stories where it's more focused on like horror and all of that, right? So I find it interesting that they're both talking about that aspect to it, because that's like, yeah, I don't know, like they both have the same idea. To me, that means that they're both talking. Like that's kind of how I feel about that. So we'll have to wait and see, but I imagine there is going to be a Rick and Michonne update at some point at Comic-Con. And then in terms of other spinoffs, that's what I'm really looking forward to as well. Like, are they going to announce other spinoffs? Like, what about the other characters and all of that? Like, I want to know more of what is next, because that's the big thing at Comic-Con, is that they give you everything of like what is the next sort of year like for The Walking Dead, right? Because we know what's happening for 2024 and 2025. We're going to have Dead City season 2 and Daryl Dixon season 3 next year. But what else? Like, are we going to be getting more? Is there going to be more episodes, this and that? So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some just more clarity on all of that. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Make sure to be a subscriber if you want to get all my Walking Dead content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.